Hello everybody out there, and good morning. It is Antarctic Press Day. We're going to be covering Furrlough, which is like an anthology series. Now, with Furrlough, you have Holly Daughtry doing the cover to Furrlough, and basically the world's finest furries is what it is. And then you've got special thanks to a few people, and we'll get into that page here in just a minute. Furrlough, very interesting read, issue number 199. It's got 3 stories inside of it. Some of the stories make me feel a little like if you've ever seen the artwork from R. Crumb, especially the last one, Blood from a Stone, reminds me a lot of R. Crumb's, his work back in the day. Now, this story is from 1987, so we'll get into that in just a momento. So, you've got Holly Daughtry doing the cover to Furrlough. Again, world's finest furries right here. So this is her artwork. And then I'm not sure who did the colors on it. I'm not sure if she did the colors or if somebody else did the colors, but this is her artwork right here, which is a furry. If you don't know what a furry is, it's people that dress up as a character, a furry feline character of sorts, you know. And some people think it's all about some weird stuff. I mean, there is some weird stuff that happens with furries, but it's not all it's about. So don't get all weirded out about it, and don't overthink it. It can get complicated. So, but here you have Furrlough number 199. It's a 4.99 comic, and it is coming out in June of 2025. So it's not out yet. So this is a preview of what to expect. So, like I said, World's Finest Furries. This is created by Ben Dunn and Holly Daughtry are the editors. It is, I'm assuming it is created by Ben Dunn himself as an anthology series for different artists to showcase their talents. Now, in this episode, we've got a special thanks to Ellen Winkler and Radio Comics. Okay? Again, comics with an X. Tall Tales, Thieves' Quest. Creator and writer J.D. Cauldron. Art Daphne Lage. The Odyssey of Pal. Story and art by Danny Ferbert. We've heard this name before. Lizards, Blood from a Stone. Character co-creator Sam Keith. Sam Keith, very cool artist. Story Jay Holland. Art Wilbur. Cover art Holly Daughtry. Editors Holly Daughtry and Ben Dunn. Now, this is, like I said, Furrlough, Volume 1, issue number 199, June of 2025. And it is published by Antarctic Press founder Ben Dunn, publisher Joe Dunn, his brother, editor-in-chief Brian Denham. No way. The Brian Denham? Holy shit. Dude. Office manager, editor Doug DeLynn. Digital manager Dan Sacrow. Submissions David Hutchinson. Production Alfred Perez. Art director Joe Wright. And web Holly Daughtry. So she does a lot. Holly Daughtry does a lot. Besides artwork, she's handling the web stuff and things like that. But Brian Denham, seriously? The editor-in-chief is Brian Denham? I'm going to have to talk to you, Mr. Ben Dunn. Because if that's the case, I know this guy. That's very cool. Okay, so the first one we're going to kick off with is Tall Tales, Thieves' Quest, Chapter 2. So there's already been published, probably in 198 if I had to guess, or maybe 197, or maybe earlier on. And they just finished it up and got here. So, like it said, created and written by J.D. Cauldron, illustrations by Daphne Lage. Now, you can find this online as well at www.talltalesonline.com. Now, your main characters are E.F. Ravenwood, Gabrielle, Clea, Pandora, Rolf, and Silvermane. So here is your character workup over here on the side. It is black and white. It is very cool, but there is your online presence, talltaleonline.com. Now, since this is part two, we already kicked off into the action. They're in a fight scene. Um, they're looking for a seal, not like a seal, but a seal, um, for a scroll and things of that nature. So they're looking for this seal, this piece. They're in a battle, blood spewing everywhere. Like he guts him, up to his arm, right there. And he's like, I know it's not going to kill you, but the next one might. And then he's like, hey, you're supposed to be doing more fighting and less talking. And then he smacks him, takes him down, puts a sword to his throat, and then gets clobbered by the female character. I'm trying to think of which one she is here. Clea. She's got to be Clea. Yeah, it's Clea. But she gets the better of him right here, taking him out. The artwork is very cool. I like the style that is happening here. And the dude flicks blood in his face, so it's all obviously going to blind him right off the bat. But very, very cool stuff so far. Lots of action, just like Ben Dunn likes it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, now you are going to get some comic books that are slow builds, um, and so you're not going to have a ton of action right off the bat. But you can find that if you really want it. Go find a Ben Dunn production from Antarctic Press. Most of those have a ton of action in them, if that's what you're truly looking for when it comes to a comic book. Now here you get a slow burn going on to the next stuff after they beat this rhino guy up, and now they are moving along. And you've got a lot of different people that are looking for this seal. So they're beating people up, down here in this section down here. They've just chit chatted about, trying to find the stuff that they're looking for. And um, give me just 1 second. Okay. So they're on this hunt for the seal. So they're in a bar, obviously, different place. To hell with you and your bloody questions is what's going on here. And you've got this badger looking guy and a porcupine looking guy. And they find somebody hiding, and they're going to question him, apparently, or her, down here. But again, the artwork is very cool. I love the black and white style, the heavy inks, those type things. And stop it, boy, stop it. Let go of me. What were you doing underneath that table, boy? Well, he's a captive, probably, stocked for the traders in the East. Is this true? I don't know. Did you see anything? Like what? Like who came to take the seal of Iberon away? Stop that, Rave. Don't you see the boy's scared? So she's befriending him, and they're talking, he's in chains. But again, the heavy inks, I love the style, the way it looks, the way it feels. It all works very well. And when I get into this tiny lettering or tiny images back here, you can still tell who's who. Whereas in some comics, when you get into that small detail, you can't always differentiate who is who except by, you know, the color of the uniforms and things like that. when it comes to natural comic books. Now this one, they get into that small fine detail, and you can still tell who's who. And again, there's going to have another panel with it with its small details in it right here. And this is not for children. I'm just going to say there's a lot of cussing, there's a lot of flipping people off, those type things, which is fine. I have no issues with that. But you know, if you unless you do that to your children on a regular basis, or they hear that language on a 24/7 basis, then by all means, this is for them. You know, some people don't shelter their children, and that's totally fine. I get that, and you know, I would rather have an unsheltered child who gets reality than someone who is sheltered and then once they get into the world are shocked by the things that people fucking say. You know, those type things. So another fight is about to ensue on this last panel, on this right here in this last section, last three panels, because they're still trying to find this seal. And this is a short story. I mean, 100% short story. Um, who ordered you to kill the boy? You know, they're trying to figure out who's after this boy and why he was trying to get killed. And enough, you monster! And he punches him in the face. And then again, a small panel. You still get to tell who's who in here. We should go. Whoever has the seal has a good half day's lead on us, and may well be halfway around the world. A short time later, or a short time after, you have all of the men. See? Or you have all of the men. Seen? 35 of our best. That line makes no sense. You have all of the men seen, and then a question mark? That one doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. Um, I'm getting caught up on the just the wording. And then he says 35 of our best. Good. And are you sure that this is where the young prince is being held? I have good reason to believe so. I hope your assumption is correct. So you've got a whole band of people coming into this village, okay, looking for this boy that was chained up. Um, and that is now with the band of heroes, the Tail Crew, and it is to be continued. So there will be more of this. So again, it is a very short story. It is very cool. It is very reminiscent of a lot of comic books you used to see back in the early '80s. Take Aardvark, um, Gru, uh, what other ones back in the day? I'm trying to think, but I can't. But it's very reminiscent, very cool. Um, I like the whole feel. I like the character workups on the side over here. Marvel feel, if you will, right here. And then this is completely different than the artwork on the inside. And it was done by, I'm trying to read the name in there, but that is one that I can't read because of the way they've got it signed. But it's very cool stuff. I don't know if it's Calderon or not, but I don't think it is. And I don't think it's Lage either. No, it is Daphne. It is Daphne Lage. Okay, so she did a completely different workup on this picture here, which is very awesome to her style on the inside. So she's a very diverse artist. So you get an anime feel, a manga feel out here on this opening title page than what you get on the inside, which is very more structured, which is a lot more, very more, which is a lot more structured and gives you a D&D feel, if you will, in this. So a Dungeons and Dragons feel if you don't know what D&D is. So that is the first story in this. And that is a very cool start because it does lend itself very heavy on, you know, the artistic talents the of Daphne there when it comes down to it. Now, with that being said, the next one is a little bit more whimsical, if you will. The Odyssey of Pal by Danny Filbert. It is very, excuse me, I'm not yawning at his work or her work. I'm assuming it's a him. but it is one of those whimsical type stories, and we'll get into it here in just a second. I just wanted to look. It is a continuation story as well. You start out. This one is the color inside the book, if you will, because it's all color. It's all pastel type colors too, so it works very well, especially for the Greek Odyssey feel, in it. And this first one, you see a image of someone in the clouds. It says, "Don't worry, they spend half their time down in the underworld. They'll be fine. I'm Lamp, and these are my dad's cows. Count that as a warning. Better get out before you end up the same way." So, you got two smoldering piles of ash here as they're walking up over this hill off of their boat, because you can see the bow of their boat right here, and you can see the water back here. And then right here is the entity we're talking about. Right, Right, Hall. And then this is the Odyssey of Pal. Again, can't tell if this is a male or female character because this shot looks like almost like they got babages right there as they're running. Right here. But you can definitely tell the female character here, male character here, female character here, and then the entity up here. This is episode 3. See You in Hades is what it's called. And so you got the typical Greek feel to this already. And as it goes along, now what? Hey, look, we can swim to that island and get some help. Follow me. Where? I can't see. Got a cow on his head. Right there. So, as they're swimming along, they get shark attacked. You can see the shark coming at them. All this good stuff. They're trying to make it to this island off in the middle of nowhere. And boom! Jaws. Bottom, 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 bottom. And they're trying to swim frantically out of the jaws of this shark. And it lunges at them. They're tapped out. They get swooped underwater. The shark comes at them underwater. A big old air bubble happens. It pops. The shark goes away. They end up on land. And they've made it to the island, again right here. And it says, "Welcome to Ogygia, home of the nymph Calypso. Let us dine and drink until the sun comes up. And snuggle also." So it's a whimsical little island of women. And now they're in a cave-esque. So, they're talking about Ithaca, but she thinks they're talking about a person uh, going back in there. So they get on this boat, or his boat, and take off. Um, so they're looking for a treasure, is what they're looking for, because he's done with them. He's smitten with this woman on the island, so he's staying there, And so she is continuing on. And she goes it alone. This one right now is basically built for children, okay? Because it is easily read. It is the colors. It's not offsetting to kids and things of that nature. She runs across the bigger boat. She's never been sailing before, but now she's doing it all on her own. And so they bring her aboard. Um, so they saying that they can't take him to Ithaca, but they're giving her a piece of gold helmet as a treasure to take them to Olympia. And so they take her as far as she can go, and she puts this helmet on, and she disappears. It's kind of like Frodo putting the ring on. So she disappears. They're like, "Where'd she go?" And it says, "I don't look or feel different. Let's check it out." Nah, nah, you can't see me. And the cow is even like, "What the hell's going on here?" Or pig, or whatever this is. It's a pig or a cow. I can't tell. I think it's a pig. But they're looking for her. She's talking to them, but they can't hear her either. And so she takes the helmet off, and boom, back on land ho, Olympia. You really couldn't see me? And they're like, no. And somebody's yelling, "I got fish," at the docks. Again, totally for kids. Thanks again. Don't forget the patience. Fruit, veggies, jewelry. Smelled so good. And so she's on her way to Ithaca. Or Olympia. Sorry, they couldn't take her to Ithaca. And now you got some Greek Roman wrestling going on, but with clothes on. I don't think she would like to see me. So they're almost to their destination as they're walking up to this area. It says, "Next episode, hey Pops," or "Who's your daddy?" And it says, "Hi Dad," as she's walking up to this piece here. Now, again, this is totally done for children, in my opinion, and it works very well. The artwork is very simple when it comes down to it. Um, and it's very cool stuff. I mean, it works and it works and it lends itself very well to the story that's at hand. You know, so if it was something a little more brutal, you would expect something a little bit more bloodthirsty and things like that, especially for a Greek story, if you will. But there you have that one, and it was very cool, very fun. It was a little bit longer than the first story, the tales, the tall tales, and but it was a lot more colorful, if you will. Sorry, there's something on my can. That's always an odd feeling. All right, so now you've got lizard's blood from a stone. Again, this one reminds me a lot of R. Crumb's artwork, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a moment with the artwork. I'm not going to pull up R. Crumb's stuff because that's not in the book. But one of the opening lines is from Bob Dylan on this. Again, this is from 1987. Jay Holland story and R. Wilbur art. What's a sweetheart like you doing in a dump like this? Bob Dylan. So, again, they're in a village. You've got a they're animal creatures, if you will. I'm not sure exactly what she is. I'm assuming she's a lizard because that's the title. Is lizard blood from a stone? She's got these baskets that I'm guessing that she is selling. Um, she's got her daughter Jenny with her, and you know, again, here's what I mean. It looks like an R. Crumb type situation here. The artwork is very R. Crumb style. If you don't know who that is, the Keep on Trucking guy, you can look him up. He was a very outspoken artist of his time, and he had a lot of erotic type artwork as well. But think Fritz the cat as well. Now, that's just the style. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. That's just the style, and there's none of that stuff going on in here that I've seen yet. So again, this one could be for children. I love the black and white feel to it. I love the um, it's not simple because everything is complex when it comes down to it. The details in the background, the looks out the windows, the calendar on the wall. You know, so you've got a modern day feel with a ancient type look. So they're arguing over some groceries and some things like that, and daily chores. But again, overall, I like the feel of this one. I like the style that it's in, and it's very it's very clean. And so you've got a lot of heavy inks, but it's still very super clean. Um, it's bright, it's open, it's it's airy when it comes down to the scenes. Um, they picked a very simple format, if you will, when it comes down to it. It's not a chaotic format, meaning that your panels line up. Whereas in some comics and some of the stuff we've already seen, the panels don't line up at all. They're all over the place. One's over top of another one and things like that. This one is a very simple, clean layout when it comes to the panel setup. Um, and it's all the same on each page for the most part. Panel, 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 full panel. Okay. Whereas the other one had a panel, 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 panel. So, but it's all set up alike. But it's very clean. It's very open. It's not dark. It's not. I can't tell what characters who. Those type things. Um, a lot of human emotions happening here. She's crying, looking down at her house. I guess the guy that she knows, her boyfriend or whatever, comes up. Punk rock look. Um, and they're confused about their feelings. They don't know what's right. They don't know what's wrong. But again, it's all clean. It's so super clean. And this is back in 1987. So you got to think that, you know, in 87, a lot of things were grunge heading towards. That grunge scene happened much later, but, you know, the R. Crumb style would have been where this was taken from if I had to guess 100%. And and so like most of us, she gets mad over situations, and and she's embarrassed and upset with herself that she got, you know, mad about the situation that happened with her sister. Thought it was her daughter at first, but it's her sister. Or, I mean, it could have been her daughter, but I think it's her sister. So he's taking her out to have some fun because it's getting too heavy, getting too real. She's claiming that if she falls into the water, she's going to kill him because she's having fun now. This one brings your human emotion into everything, and so he ends up falling into the water, and she's laughing, and then he's shaking off like a dog would. But he got a fish too. At least you can skip bath day this week, as she's laughing on the ground uncontrollably right here. He's dripping wet with the fish in his hand. It's a fun, light-hearted story, and at this moment, and it's a single story as well from 1987. And she's like, "What did you want to show me?" He says, "It's right over here." I love the style. I mean, I do. I really love this style. It's beautiful. Thank you. And she's looking at a painting. Time to go back. Father will be expecting supper. Well, bye. And then we end the page with the painting he was working on, which is the bridge she's walking over, which is a just a standard log bridge, and it shows his painting that he was working on, the same angle that she's in, and it just doesn't have her on it, you know. So they're watching the sunset hit and all that good stuff. So it's a feel good story about when life gets heavy and what you can do to get out of that funk, which I talked about in one of my live shows before, was how do you get out of your funk if you get into a funk? And, this one, I love the style. Again, R. Crumb feel to it for me. And then we have some previews. So I love that story, and I'll get into the previews here in just a second. So I love that story. It was fun. It was exciting. It wasn't like overly heavy, but again, it had its feel for the heaviness of life emotions. So that's a good play in there because you get that in some comic books, but most of the time it's just action, action, action. You don't get the heartfeltness of the characters, if you will. So that was good there. So you know, um, so now we get into the previews, which we've already done a Monkey Peak preview. Uh, we've already done that. We've already told that story right there. So that was a good one. I love that story. I need to actually find it. Now we're getting some upcoming releases. Um, Vintage Fred Perry. Extra, extra, extra. Read all about it. Vintage Fred Perry. Visit us at online at antarcticpress.com. 40 Years of Antarctic Press. You get Cayman America Volume 10. Libertine Dream. You get Cayman America. You get two different covers. You get Tomorrow Girl number 14. Betrayed by Section 12. You get Fred Perry Treasure Vault Sketchbook. Fred Perry Treasure Vault Sketchbook. You get two different covers. You get a gold foil variant for $20. So you get two different sketchbooks, and then you get a gold foil variant for $20. The sketchbook is 32 pages with $9.99 cover price, unless you get the variant cover, which is right here. So again, some cool stuff coming. I need to get with Ben Dunn and get some of these giant items attack. I need to get some of these blank covers and Blue Line Giant Sketchbook. I need to get that. That's $20. The comic sketchbook is 20 for that, which comes with and it's Kaiju Lai Giant Items Attack. It's Kaiju Comics. Cocaine Sketchbook White, which is 14. No, it's $4.99, one shot. So I need to get some of these blank covers from him, and especially like this one, Love My 17. But I'll go to their Antarctic Press and see what I can find there. And then you've got Ancient D&D, which is dinosaur comics. You got Fairy Comics. You've got the Furrlough. You've got Goblin 522, which we did a book on. You've got Tomorrow Girl number 13, The Mystery of Section 12, which we did that on. We got Ninja High School 201. So they have hit 200. Um, but this is just the June checklist. So all this stuff is coming out later on. Then you've got Antarctic Press 40th Anniversary Celebration, Comics and Chill, trade paperback. You've got the Mystery Dice, uh, Dragon Teeth set for 15. You got the Antarctic Press T-shirt. 40-year-olds can wear tees, especially if the shirt looks this good. And then you got Tiffany Charlotte on Another World. Fred Perry's Tiffany Charlotte, number 2 of 4. So it's a 4-issue miniseries. Very cool stuff looking. You've got Antarctic Press shirts, like I said. The 40th anniversary looks like a penguin because it's Antarctic Press, and an angry penguin. You've got it in small, medium, large, or extra large for 25, 2X, and 3X for 30. But there it is right there. I might end up getting one of those myself so that I can wear it on the Antarctic Press days. And then you've got, hey, you, have you heard of the Graphic Novel Club? There's a kids club too. Um, cure, Curated brand new graphic novels from your favorite creators and upcoming superstars, shipped directly to you from our store. Plus access to exclusive merch and interviews. Plus signed book plate is so rad. So you can actually comics experience 305, whatever, San Francisco, California, the Kids Graphic Novel Club, the Adult New Graphics Club. You can actually scan the QR code, your favorite new book, for $25 per month. So you can go to the graphicnovelclub.com and /start. And that way you can get in on your favorite graphic novels every month. And you actually can get a signed book plate as well. The kids club is only $8 or 8+ years at $15 a month. So you're getting $10 less for the young readers kids club. So that is Furlough number 199. Overall, 2 thumbs up. I mean, great stuff. Um, I could have done without the middle book, the pal, but I understand. It's a good story. It's a feel good story, coming of age story. Just like the lizards, blood from a stone. That one was a heartfelt story, and then of course you had the tall tales at the beginning, and it was one of those action packed D&D feel stories. I love the black and whites, and that's why I'm going to be doing my comic book in black and white, because I love that feel. I love the cleanness, and I love where you can get dark, where you want to get dark, and things of that nature. So, but I look forward to the next one, and it is actually going to be on another segment, but it is Kaiju Cooking by Hiroshi Kanatani, which we've heard that name before, and this is Shark Couture. This is what we're going to be previewing on the next one. So look forward to that. You all have a great day, and as I like to say, as I leave you, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.